Flying can be a very relaxing activity, but there are small details that allow you to take this experience to the next level, such as, for example, flying through the skies on board a unique aircraft. This is precisely what is offered by the aircraft marketed in kit form to be assembled by aviation lovers who want to venture into this type of project. Assembled kit aircraft offer the possibility of almost unlimited customization of all aspects of the plane, so there will hardly be two of them that are exactly the same. This makes the construction experience much funnier, since each user can add his or her personal, unique, and differentiating touch. Now, if you add to this the possibility of building the aircraft with the largest cabin of all the kit airplanes, with a capacity of 4 seats, and which is also very fast, it is undoubtedly something that any user will enjoy a lot. The Velocity XL is an extra-large version of the Velocity SE, both produced by the American company Velocity Inc., which specializes in the manufacture of kit aircraft, making it ideal for all those aviation enthusiasts who have the time and patience to devote to a project of such magnitude. The Velocity XL definitely stands out. When you see it, you will notice that it is different from the rest of the aircraft we are used to. This is a single-engine aircraft that was built using composite materials, but despite being designed to be built in-house, it offers impressive performance. The Velocity XL's unique fuselage was designed with canard airfoils instead of a traditional wing. This advantageous design feature allows it to have more resistance to stalls and spins and to counteract them in a more efficient and safe way. As its name indicates, it is a large aircraft, especially considering the category in which it competes, with dimensions of 20 feet long, 7 feet 9 inches high, and a wingspan of 31 feet. For its design, modern technologies were used for the aerodynamic surface modeling to obtain clean cockpit lines and non-complex systems, resulting in a neat aircraft with a high degree of efficiency, performance, and simplicity alike. One thing to note is that the XL is available with both fixed landing gear and retractable landing gear. Another hallmark of this aircraft is the V-type shape of its chassis, which gives it a more premium feel. I really like that. This bird has a comfortable and spacious cabin with dimensions of 43.5 inches high, 94 inches long, and 47.5 inches wide, and is capable of accommodating between 3 and 4 passengers plus a pilot, but the standard version has 4 seats in total. It is noteworthy that it has one of the largest cabins of all 4-seat kit aircraft. However, if you need room for one more person, there is a 5-seat version with a 3-seat bench in the rear instead of the traditional pair of separate seats. The lighting inside the cabin is adjustable and has backlit panels to ensure cabin visibility at all times. Similarly, the brightness of the display and instrument lighting system automatically adapts to lighting conditions, and the same happens with the air conditioning, always ensuring a comfortable temperature for the crew. On the large front panel, you can find everything related to the aircraft's avionics and systems. All the vital information about the aircraft that the pilot may need is easily at his fingertips. Since this is a kit aircraft to be built at home, it is much more versatile when it comes to installing attachments, including the engine. The company offers the possibility of installing 4 different engine configurations, each with its own specifications, so that the customer can choose the one that best suits his needs. Among the engines recommended by the manufacturer, the most powerful is the Continental IO 550, producing up to 310 horsepower, followed by the Lycoming IO 540, which is able to generate between 260 and 300 horsepower. Then, the Franklin 6A 350C1 with a power between 205 and 235 horsepower, and finally the Lycoming IO 360, which is the least powerful among the recommended engines, with a power between 145 and 210 horsepower. It also incorporates Cato 3-bladed fixed-pitch propellers, ideal for experimental aircraft, which are located at the rear of the aircraft, along with the engine, so that noise, turbulence produced by the propellers, heat, and engine gases do not interfere with the flight experience of the crew members. Despite this, builders are free to design their own propulsion facilities and can use a variety of other engines of similar power. The only limitations pointed out by the company would be space and speed. Exceeding 220 knots could affect the structure of the aircraft and put the crew's lives at risk. The Velocity XL has an impressive range for an aircraft of its class, considering that it is a pre-engineered aircraft, whose kit is intended to be assembled by people who are not professionals. It is really hard to imagine that once finished, it would have such an incredible performance. From the factory, it comes with a fuel capacity of 70 gallons, evenly distributed in 2 tanks of 35 gallons each, although there is the possibility of increasing the capacity up to a maximum of 92 gallons. This single-engine bird is probably the fastest, most efficient, and safest kit aircraft you can buy. Designed for cross-country flying, the Velocity XL goes far beyond what most other companies' aircraft construction kits offer. It has a climb rate that goes from 1,300 to 1,900 feet per minute, with a total range of up to 1,200 nautical miles. It can fly at over 200 knots of airspeed. However, as mentioned before, it's not recommended to fly at 220 knots and above. Its empty weight is 1,700 pounds, with a payload of 1,100 pounds. Its takeoff run is 1,300 feet, while the landing run is 1,500 feet. And in case you were wondering, its service ceiling reaches 25,000 feet. Sounds really good to me. For the base construction of the Velocity XL, it is recommended to install, for the avionics section, the Garmin G3X Touch for navigation, a single Garmin GTN 750 touchscreen, and a Garmin GFC 500 for autopilot control. The 3-axis autopilot can be controlled by the GFC 500 or through the G3X touchscreen, just like the transponder and audio controls, giving the pilot more than one option to utilize. The dual units of the G3X Touch are configured with an automatic reversion mode in case either unit fails. The door pressurization system, when activated, inflates a rubber that seals the cabin and keeps it pressurized in order to be able to fly at high altitudes without problems for the crew members. As I mentioned before, this aircraft has the XL FG variant with fixed landing gear with a capacity of up to 4 occupants and a gross weight of 2,700 pounds. The XL FG5 is the same as the previous one, but with an extra capacity for up to 5 occupants, which adds 200 additional pounds to the gross weight. We also have the XL RG and XL RG5, whose only difference with the previous ones is the use of retractable landing gear, since in terms of capacities and gross weight, they are the exact same. Then we have the Velocity SE, which represents a smaller and less powerful variant than the Velocity XL, and it was the base model for the creation of the latter. The climb rate of this aircraft is 1,200 feet per minute, with a range of 1,000 nautical miles and a top speed of 187 knots. In addition, we have the company's flagship and most advanced model, which used the Velocity XL as inspiration for its design, the Velocity V-Twin, which can be conceived as a more advanced and faster variant than the XL, a composite construction aircraft with a twin-engine pusher configuration and the characteristic canard in its structure. The V-Twin has a climb rate of 2,000 feet per minute, a range of up to 1,400 nautical miles, and can fly between 190 and 200 knots during a cruise. A fact that you may not know, and that is quite curious, is that in the Rocket Racing League, which was active between 2005 and 2014, Velocity XL structures with standard fixed landing gear were used to build rocket boosters. As you might expect, the entire structure was highly modified to be able to propel an Armadillo aerospace-powered rocket with ethanol fuel and liquid oxygen. Pretty interesting, huh? Now let's move on to what we all want to know. Pricing. The basic cost of the Velocity XL kit reaches $64,000. To fully build it and have it 100% functional, the cost rises to approximately $300,000, although depending on what each customer decides to install, the price can rise much higher. Something important to keep in mind if you plan to purchase this aircraft is that the estimated time for its assembly is between 1,500 and 2,000 hours. But at Velocity Inc., they offer the possibility of selling a pre-assembled kit that guarantees to leave you with only 800 hours remaining to complete the construction process. But of course, this means an additional cost. However, if construction and assembly are not your thing, you can order your Velocity XL fully assembled from the factory and ready to fly. In this case, the cost is around $400,000. One of the direct rivals of the Velocity XL is the Lancer Evolution, an aircraft with outstanding performance. This 4-person, piston-engine is truly a fast flyer and is considered by many to be the best performing 4-seater aircraft you can buy. It has a range of up to 1,800 nautical miles, which is very impressive, and is powered by a Lycoming YTEO 540 IE2 engine that allows it to reach a cruising speed of 230 knots with a service ceiling of 25,000 feet. That said, despite the fact that the Lancer Evolution is faster and has a longer range than the Velocity XL, in terms of price, the Velocity XL is the clear winner. The choice is up to you. The price of the Lancer Evolution construction kit is $410,000, much more than what it would cost to acquire a Velocity XL ready to fly. But this is not all, because when adding the cost of the engine, avionics, and paint, having a Lancer Evolution ready for takeoff would end up costing approximately $895,000. It is mind-blowing to think that for the price of a Lancer Evolution, we can buy almost 3 Velocity XLs. And even more striking is to know that the difference in speed, range, and overall performance is very small. What do you think about this? Considering the information mentioned before, it is undeniable that the Velocity XL is an engineering prodigy for offering such a performance in an aircraft that can be built as a kit. Nevertheless, the aircraft incorporates relevant design features, the most notorious of which is its stall and spin resistance. In the event that the pilot flies too slowly, the canard wing exerts an upward force at the front of the aircraft, increasing the total lift available while rotating the aircraft. The canard, if its angle of attack is properly set, can also reduce the likelihood of a catastrophic full-power takeoff stall by stalling before the main wing stalls, lowering the nose of the aircraft. That said, we can unanimously say that the Velocity is a true competitor in the skies compared to small turboprop business jets that operate at 5 to 10 times the cost. Now, if we focus on the negative sides, the first thing that jumps out is that this is not an aircraft for everyone, because even though the company offers the possibility of delivering the aircraft fully assembled, it is essential that each user is always aware of the maintenance and needs of their aircraft to keep it in optimal conditions. It can even represent a real challenge to fly it, mainly due to the distances required for takeoff and landing compared to conventional aircraft. It also lacks flaps due to the canard wing design. Despite these secondary things, the Velocity XL definitely offers a quite complete and fun experience. In fact, it's an aircraft that, once you get used to it, provides incredible performances, stability, safety, and of course, unforgettable flights. It is evident how amazing this aircraft is, emerging as the fastest single-engine piston aircraft on the market, even surpassing by far what some conventional and much more expensive certified aircraft can offer. Of course, it is not a perfect aircraft by any means, but considering what you're going to pay to get it, it gives you a lot for what it costs. With this bird, you will have guaranteed hours of fun flying through the skies, either with your family, friends, or alone. Today, over 1,000 owners have assembled the plane of their dreams. What is the reward? One of the best overall performing piston aircraft on the market, capable of meeting the expectations of the most demanding pilots at a very cheap price.